know some of us have work to do, and we'll try to get you in and get you out of here as quickly as possible. But we do have some cool stuff to talk about today. But before we get into the cool stuff, we'll let our core partners start. That was funny, y'all. Damn, that was funny. You missed it.
You mean core
Right over your
partner?
head. So, oh gosh, John, how are you, man? How's business at Prosperity, brother?
It's good. Yeah, it's good. I'm as you can see, I'm back working from home right now. I just got a little bit of a cold, so trying to stay safe and not spread it around. I feel like we're all hyper aware of that, so it's all good. Had a good time on vacations. Thanks everybody for dealing with me while I was gone, and got some good sun. Had some good weather last week, so we had a really good time. So glad to be back in the swing of things.
You do look like maybe you're a little more relaxed and a little more colorful. So
Colorful for sure. I don't know about relax, not yet, but I definitely got some sun, which is for me is tough because I'm so white, so pasty. So I had a good time.
That's great, man. That's great. Well, I'm glad you're back, and
Yeah.
I know you, having been gone, may not be fully up to speed yet, but it is. Is anything new going on at Prosperity? Anything you want to share with us about where we are, what interest rates look like, and any new or old loan programs that seem to be winning right now?
So while I was gone, rates they ticked up just a hair. They're still really low. We're still seeing government low twos. 2.375. Seeing low government rates in the high twos. I'm sorry, low conventional rates in the high twos. So rates are still staying low. The market's still kind of keeping their eye on the COVID numbers, the retail sales, the consumer confidence. These are all things that the government gets reports on through different entities throughout the month. They came back a little bit, not as positive people thought they were going to be yesterday. So that just tells you kind of, it's a leading indicator of, well, where people think the economy is heading short term and long term. So I think the consensus is we're still moving in the right direction. Things are still progressing from an economic standpoint, but it's going to take a little bit longer to get back to maybe where we were before. So all that to say, what that will do is it will keep rates low for at least for the short to middle term. So we'll keep our eye on that. So we're still seeing low rates, which is fantastic. We'll keep that going. It's going to help us. So, just like we've seen over the last year and a half, is sell a little bit more expensive home because it's more affordable for people to get into. So people are more comfortable getting into a bigger house. The payment is not so payment impact's not so severe because the rates are low. So that's really also another thing that's spurring all this is the low rates. So always a good thing. We have seen a lot of appraisals recently come in low. And it's sometimes you go through a period of time where they don't come, you have a bunch that don't come in low at all. And all of a sudden you have a time where a bunch come in low all in a row. So we've had recently just a bunch come in, and not a huge amount low, $5,000-$10,000 low. And we've all been able to make the transactions work. But I think we're going to see a lot of that. We're going to see a lot of appraisals, coming in low and having to deal with that. And that's something we talked about pretty much at every meeting. But that's one thing I noticed just recently in the last probably 2 or 3 weeks is just appraisers just having a hard time reaching that next, reaching that full value. Now, I have seen in the last couple of weeks a couple contracts coming with closing cost assistance to the buyer, which we haven't seen in the last year almost. So that's an interesting thing that I'm kind of seeing, contracts come in, is that maybe we're seeing a slight pivot from 100% seller's market to 95% seller's market. I don't know. And maybe that, again, it's a small sample size, but just want to mention that. I'm noticing that. And it's pretty common this time of year as people are going back to work. Back to school. You can see a slight slowdown, which maybe we could take and so we build up our supply a little bit more to stop the frenzy that's been the whole last year and a half. But program wise, it's still your standard programs that we're seeing utilized. We are seeing more usage of jumbo because we are seeing that sales price rise. You know, with prices in general going up, you're going to see more properties go from 500 to 600, 600 to 700, and then we're up into that $600,000 to $700,000 range. You're going to have to utilize jumbo loans more, and that's fine. But jumbo loans come with additional guidelines, a little more strict. Rates are just a hair higher than what you would see with conventional loans. But the bigger thing is that just the credit strictness that they have, the stringency that they have for jumbo loans is pretty severe. Like they just don't like to see anybody below pretty much 720, which is tough. I mean, because you have a lot of people who are well qualified who are at 680 or 690, but they're very picky. So we're seeing a little bit of that, and I've had to delve into more jumbo guidelines than I've ever really had before. Again, same reason. It's because we're doing more jumbo loans. So the good thing is, Prosperity Home Mortgage is based out of Chantilly, Virginia, where the average sales price up there is $500,000-$600,000. We are a company that's does a lot of jumbo loans. We have that product mix that I can plug in. I have a lot of resources up in Northern Virginia where I call and say, hey, just touch base on these jumbo products to make sure that I'm not missing anything. So we have a lot of different jumbo investors, and they each have these little caveats of guideline changes as opposed to conventional where everything's the same. So it's been an interesting first half of the year of doing more jumbo loans. So we're seeing more of those. We're seeing really a fall off on the utilization of FHA and VHDA, not because there's not buyers out there who are pre-approved for that, but more so sellers who are hesitant to accept an FHA or VHDA program over a conventional or VA. So it seems to be conventional, VA, FHA, then at VHDA, FHA in that order. Obviously cash first, right? As far as financing goes, that's what we're seeing. And again, same thing with the seller pay closing costs coming back. I think what we will see is some more of those programs where, well, no, maybe we're not going to see closing costs coming back from the seller, but we'll see FHA contracts being accepted as opposed to before where they wouldn't even consider it. So I think we'll see that. But it's really been a shame to see a lot of people who want to buy a house, perfectly qualified, can get an FHA loan, but sellers, when are faced with the choice of utilizing an FHA loan or a borrower who's getting a conventional, there's a perception that the appraisal is going to be simpler, the person's more qualified, they have more skin in the game. Yeah, the list goes on. Now that's not always the case, but that's the perception. So that's one thing I've noticed this just the last year is that just that amount of FHA loans I've done, they've just gone down. So that's kind of really right. In a nutshell, what we're dealing with. We are in constant contact with our appraisal group to make sure that we are focused on keeping turn times down on appraisals and for the reviews, and doing what we can to push back on appraised values when we feel it's not adequately supported or we think they're coming in low or being stubborn. It's always an uphill battle, but we are doing as best we can for those. And the last thing I'll touch on, and then I'll pass it on, would be turn times for underwriting. We are making really good progress on underwriting turn times, which is great. Before we were really behind, talking about a couple of weeks or more, just from the time that the processor submits to underwriting review. So if you imagine like a stack of files gets higher and higher, and you're just picking up one at the top, and the stack keeps getting taller because you're just not going so fast. But so they got that stack down to a manageable level, back to kind of where it should be, which is a week or less. Ideally, 48 hours, 36, 72 hours, business hours is kind of what you want to be from an underwriting standpoint. You really don't want to be less than that because you're going to have a lot of people who are like not busy enough. So that's kind of where you want to be from a standpoint operation, and we're pretty close to getting back there. So that's a good sign for us. So all in all, I mean, everything is going well. We are bringing on another assistant to assist Lindsay and I. Her name is Cheyenne. She is going to be starting in late August, early September to kind of assist in the transactional standpoint of helping with the process that we have, take some work off of Lindsay and I so that we can more focus on clients, to be more available and not have to deal with some other stuff on the back end. Because I feel like that's, what we need to be focused on is new business coming in, obviously making sure that everyone that's in process is getting taken care of, but me being, having a quick reaction time, being able to get back to people quicker has been my number one focus right now. So hopefully Cheyenne is going to come in and help with that. Obviously, we always have that kind of one step forward, or I should say 2 steps forward, 1 step backwards, where you train someone and it take a while for them to get up to speed, but she's really bright. She's actually a police officer at Virginia Beach, but she's has some, her mother was a loan officer. She's really sharp. Education went to Longwood, has a marketing and finance background. She always dreamed about being a police officer, did that. She's been doing that a couple of years and just kind of decided she wants to do something else. So I think you guys will really like her. I can't wait for you guys to meet her, but I think it's a positive thing for us to improve our customer service, which, is always our number one priority. So that's it.
And that's exciting. Yeah, that's really good, man. Really, really exciting. Good information. I appreciate it. Does anybody have any questions for John? Where did you go for vacation? I saw that come across the screen.
Cape Charles.
Cape Charles.
So
Man.
it's great. It's only about an hour away from where we live, and the beach is about 12 inches deep for about 500 yards. So for having little kids, it's awesome. They can just walk out.
Go.
I'm not worried about waves and for knocking them over. So it's fantastic.
Awesome. Well, we're glad you're back, my friend. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Speaking of appraisals, that actually brings me to one of the topics I wanted to discuss, which was, I guess it ties into appraisals in a roundabout way. So what we've seen is, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there. So I have some notes here, so bear with me. Change of payment type from cash. Oh, so here's what we've seen, right? So we've seen agents, and this is more common in the northern districts in Richmond, in Northern Virginia. And John, you've probably seen this too. And there are some, what I want to call snaky agents who will intentionally write an offer as cash, knowing full well that if it's ratified, the buyer intends to get a mortgage. And that can really throw a kink in your seller's expectations. So if you are a listing agent and you have a listing and you get a cash offer, be it from an individual or from a company, because what they're seeing up there is it's some company that is writing these cash offers with the intention of, getting a loan, be it hard money or otherwise. Hard money is not the same as cash. And so you want to be really specific and get as much detail as you can with respect to this potential buyer's qualifications and income and assets when you're considering accepting this offer, because all too often we're seeing cash offers converted to finance offers. And so it's kind of like along the same lines of writing a conventional offer, right? Knowing that your buyer is going to end up with a VHDA FHA. Well, it's misleading, it's dishonest, it's a disservice to everyone involved in the transaction. And it can really, throw a kink in what we have as processes and what the seller expects. And so I just want to remind you, when you have a listing out there, be really, really careful in evaluating each offer. And make sure that the pre-qualification letter, if you get it, is valid. Make sure that if they show you a proof of assets or proof of funds, that it is legitimate. It's not simply, a quick print. See if there's not somebody that you can call and verify that the intention is to, literally write a check with liquid funds readily available to pay for this house if it comes to closing day. So
make sure that if it says cash, there should be no appraisal requirements. If you see a cash offer with an appraisal requirement, that's a red flag that they're trying to get hard money and it's not truly a cash offer, right, Jason?
That's exactly right. Yeah, that's right.
Hey,
So,
Jason,
yeah,
wouldn't that be, I mean, this may be stupid, but isn't that bait and switch kind of?
I absolutely think so. Yeah, I do. And then, the problem we run into when this sort of thing happens is we don't find out that the buyer is going to switch to a loan for 2, 3, 4 weeks into the transaction when it's time for the appraiser. And by that time, our seller is made preparations. Maybe they've made repairs based on a PICRA or something. Do they want to take the home away from the buyer because the buyer is in breach of contract technically, and put it back on the market, or do they just want to move ahead? And so that's what those buyers agents are counting on, is that by the time the seller finds out that we're going to roll this over into a finance purchase, the seller will just decide to let us do it because they've already spent 3 weeks in this contract. It is absolutely a bait and switch. Yeah.
Is there any rules or not rules? Is there like when we get a cash offer, what can we ask for as of proof? I mean, used to we required a bank statement or a 401k or, I mean, can we still require all that, or what would be the best thing to ask for to see if there is proof of funds?
I think you're exactly right. I mean, that's what I've always asked for was, maybe a 401k statement or an IRA or a bank statement showing that they have access to this kind of capital. Maybe it's invested in the markets or something, and you want a statement from their broker showing. And also keep in mind that if somebody's going to sell stock or sell securities in order to get the money to pay for this house or to provide the down payment or whatever they need to do that days ahead of time. They can't wait till closing day to sell their stocks and expect to have access to that cash, because it's going to take them probably 3 days. They refer to as T2 system, so it takes 2 days to settle. So I would make sure that my buyer in this scenario, or the buyer, knows and understands that if they intend to sell something of value, they need to do that well ahead of time.
Not to mention, if it's a 401k, there's no way for you to really know what the terms of withdrawal are. So even if you have a 401k, sometimes if you're not vested or if you have a loan out against it, you may not be able to actually access the funds that are inside of a 401k. So for us to assume that they're available just with a 401k statement and then actually be accurate, and then that gets really down into the weeds of, well, prove to me that you can utilize it. But I'm just letting you know that just a 401k statement by itself doesn't mean that you actually use the money.
That's a good point. Yeah.
You can write that though in the terms. We want proof from whatever, if it 401k must be available for withdrawal or whatever.
Yeah, you want a pre-approval letter from the 401k holder. Yeah, Fidelity or whoever it happens to be. Yeah.
Scott put in the comments on the side, stay away from do hard money.
Do hard money. Yeah, that's a local company I've heard of a couple of times in the past. So sounds like we have some problems getting them to come up with the hard money.
Hey, Jason.
Yeah.
I just want to mention this real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I had a scenario kind of come across my desk and it was kind of interesting. So if you guys see this, you can share your thoughts on it. And the seller who owns a property free and clear, and they want to create an LLC, okay, and basically add the seller as an owner, right, gift a deed to the seller's name because he's already owned the property, can just gift deed from his name to an LLC, and basically add the buyer as a member of the LLC, okay, just add him as like the percentage owner, and then effectively refinance it out of the guy. Like basically there's another entity like a private equity or someone who has money comes in, is also on there, and then basically buys the LLC, who then owns the property. And it's really a sketchy way to get around just buying a property, because I'm not sure what really I talked to a real estate attorney, but it was a really interesting way they're trying to do it. They wanted to effectively say, hey, look, put the property in this LLC's name, and then sell this LLC. And I guess I'm not really sure how that works. So basically, it's a different type of capital gains, or or if it's a refinance for the who's ever trying to buy it. Whenever you have situations like that where it seems like it's not normal seeming, or it's you've never heard of it before, or like, oh, it's fine, we do it all the time. Just slow down, talk to Shaheen, talk to an attorney, to make sure you do something before a seller who owns that property free and clear decides to put someone else's name effectively on a property that they already own, right? Because it sounds to me like there's, if it's too good to be true, it probably is, right? So I don't know. Have you guys, anybody run into something like that or heard about anything like that before?
I think that serves as a really good reminder to, continue to be careful, be diligent, because we have so many, what we refer to as iBuyers, right? There's so many big companies coming into the real estate game now because of the home appreciation and the historic appreciation of real estate. These big giant companies have decided that real estate is a fantastic investment, and they're making these cash sight unseen offers, and they can close quickly, and we buy ugly houses and all of this. And these companies are coming over from California, and they're very creative. They will structure a deal like we've never seen before. So we do want to be careful. We want to take our time. And if you don't understand what it is, that this offer is presenting, then definitely ask for some help. We can get an attorney involved if we need to make sure that all parties, especially our clients, understand exactly what it is that they're agreeing to and what it is they're signing. Because that's just, it sounds, new. It sounds like something we've not come across yet. So just be aware that these things are out there. So you always want to, you don't ever want to get your client in trouble because we didn't know something or we didn't take the time to research it. So sometimes if it looks too good to be true, it may very well be. On that note, if you're a listing agent and you receive an offer, make sure before that offer is ratified that you receive, along with the offer, the signed residential property disclosure statement. Because I always knew that the residential property disclosure statement had to be signed by the seller first, because it's the seller making disclosure to the buyer of the property's condition and other elements that are contained within that document. So I always knew that, but the consequence of not doing it that way is that it leaves the contract, even though it's ratified, it leaves the contract open to cancellation by the buyer for up to 3 days. So if you don't receive that buyer signed residential property disclosure statement at ratification, until you do receive it, the buyer has 3 days to cancel the contract after they've effectively signed it. So I just learned that this morning in the manager meeting, honestly. And so even after all these years, we're always learning. So make sure that if you have a listing and you're entertaining offers, that before you ratify, you get a copy of that residential property disclosure statement that's been signed by the buyer. And obviously, you would have had your seller sign it and upload it into Rain, and then the buyer's agent downloads it, signs it, and sends it back to you. It's really, really important that we collect those residential property disclosure statements.
And as a reminder, those are required by Rain to be uploaded at listing.
So
If not,
as the listing agent, we know that we're doing our part because we're uploading them. Otherwise, Stacia's going to yell at us because we don't have them, because Rain is yelling at Stacia. So yeah, make sure though, when you're entertaining offers, that they include that residential property disclosure statement. Awesome. All right, I got a couple of slides I want to share with you guys, and then we'll see if anybody else has anything else, and then we'll get you out of here. So just as a reminder, you guys, hopefully you're seeing this agent icon. So I know that some of you are very familiar with Agent Icon. Evelyn, I know that you use it quite a bit. But I want to make sure that everybody is aware of it because I didn't realize that they're now even cooler than they used to be. So pretty neat thing though. Agent Icon is the company that Long and Foster has partnered with. It's absolutely no cost to you as the agent to take advantage of this. And so I've got a couple of slides pulled up here, but they have this really quick little video that you can go through and watch. And so basically what it is, and Evelyn, if you want to add anything, you basically email them a picture or pictures, plural, at one of these two email addresses, and they will generally within a minute or two send you back several pictures with images or overlays, word overlays, just listed, just sold, happy buyer, happy seller, that type of thing that you can use for social media. And you may see these from time to time on our, Long and Foster social media pages and wonder where they come from. And Agent Icon is in fact where they come from. And so it's pretty neat. And they have a lot more than I actually knew they did. They do, you can do testimonials, you can do prospecting images, you can do videos. They have a whole library of content that you can get through Agent Icon and the partnership with Long and Foster. So animated images, vertical images, social media videos, social media images. So very cool stuff there. And I wanted to let me see if I can show you.
While you're doing that, the luxury one is the blue logo, and the LF, the first one, the two emails. The first one is just the red logo. If you prefer the blue logo, you do it to luxury. That's how you get the blue logo.
Here we go. If you guys haven't watched this,
Hi, I'm Kelly with Agent Icon. Your company wants you to have the best social media presence, so we're providing you access to our platform. Now, I'm going to tell you all about Agent Icon. We built an imaging system for your listings, testimonials, and even buyer and seller prospecting. It works like magic via email, so there's no apps or software for you to learn or install. Just send us an email with an image attached, and we'll send back beautifully designed images. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, you take a photo and send the image via email. 2, you receive images back from us via email almost instantly. 3, you post your images to any social media platform, website, or use them in any way you'd like. Here are some listing photos. It even works with interior shots, testimonial images, buyer prospecting, seller prospecting. Thank you for taking the time to view this video, and thank you for using.
so they have, this is their webpage. And so they have a lot of stuff in here that I didn't realize that they had. And so unless you've been here, maybe you didn't realize it either. But there's images, there's videos, there's story images, story videos. I thought this was kind of neat. If you want to share the good news, they have all of these good news blog articles that you can copy and share to social media. Boy raises $700,000 for hospice by camping out in a tent for 500 days in a row. God bless him. I mean, they have all of this cool stuff in here, and I just want to make sure that you're aware of it because it's a hell of a lot cooler than I even knew. So want to make sure I share that with you guys. So definitely check out Agent Icon. You can go to the cafe and search for Agent Icon, or just scroll down until you find the SharePoint channel for Agent Icon. It is one of the Long and Foster provided tools at no charge to you guys. So pretty cool stuff right there. I think, okay, that's what I had. Stacia.
I'm gonna go with Debbie wrote on the side that the listing checklist and the sales checklist are great to have to know what you need to turn in. So I don't think Jason was typing and talking at the same time. So those checklists are in the workroom in the back. and can also be emailed. I know Jason's sent them out a few times. I've sent them out a few times. They're probably not like perfect because things change all the time, but the main parts of the checklist are the same all the time. They don't usually change. It's just adding a form here and there as an optional, but all the required forms are on those sheets with asterisks. And I don't know what Sharon was talking about, slow it down.
Oh, maybe my video. I sped it up so that I didn't take too much of your time. But
Okay.
yeah, the checklist, I mean, you know, as I was coming up through Long and Foster for years, we had to, I mean, it was mandatory. You had to do a checklist and turn it in with your paperwork. So they are valuable. So don't forget that we do make them available to you. And if you're not sure what paperwork you're supposed to include or supposed to get filled out, refer to the checklist because they are available and they can be very, very helpful to you.
Now, I do have something to share as well. And your mom just said something else and I lost the screen. Hold on. Turn in listings. Oh, yeah. Sorry, it was not your mom. It was Debbie. Wrong Gooden. Yeah, I mean, you can turn them in. I do get them from some people. It's entirely up to you to turn it in to me. So we are doing the American Heart Walk, American Heart Association Heart Walk this year. It's been a couple of years. Last year with COVID, they didn't do it. Our Heart Walk, there's 2 of them in Hampton Roads. One's October 30th in Chesapeake City Park. The other one's November 13th at Hampton University. We already have an office team. I have 6 team members. There are only 2 actual people from our physical office who are team members, and that's me and Jason. The other 4 belong to Sage. It's awesome that they are on our team, but where's the rest of our office? So if everybody could go and join the links and start raising the money, that would be great. Because as of right now, I'm the winner in the office with the most money raised. But you can certainly click on the links. Jason sends them out, I think every Friday. And we'll send them out again. If you go to my page, there should be a fundraiser. And actually, I think in the group chat, our Long and Foster Facebook group, there's a link there to click on and join the team. Make sure you select LNF Suffolk as the team name for when you're joining a team, if it doesn't bring you straight to it. The other thing that they've talked about doing, which we can do, is in Richmond, and it's only the Richmond area. I'm not quite sure yet what's happening with Hampton Roads, but they are collecting food. I guess they're going to donate it to 3 local food banks in Richmond. But we could do the same thing like we did before, where we give it to the Salvation Army Food Bank. They appreciate everything that we give them. And I know for a fact they're probably low on pretty much all of these items that are mentioned below. And as a company or a region, they're looking to raise $7,500 with 15 teams and 150 walkers. I really think that's 1 team per office. Like I said, I've already created our office team. We have 6 members. So the more that join, the better we look. Our goal as an office is 5,000 because I want to be better than everybody else. I always like winning, don't we, Jason? We like winning.
We do like winning, yeah.
And as you can tell, I'm one of 4 team captains already signed on. So if we can, at least get to 1,000, we get a hat. Not sure if we collectively get a hat or I get a hat. somebody's getting at. So if we could join and start promoting it, you can also do it from, there's an app, you can use the app, all of that good stuff for the Heart Walk. And a month before the actual walk, they start doing challenges where it counts your steps and all this other stuff, and you can win stuff. I don't know who signed in as D. Normally I see Dudley, I'm assuming that's him, but I'm not sure who that person is. They say, are we walking? Yes. Jason walked the last time. It was you, Debbie, and Soren, I think. Soren was at one of them. I don't know who else. There were a bunch of people. Oh, it is Dudley. Thank you, Dudley. But yes, we will be walking. I just don't know if we're walking in both or one. I mean, it's entirely up to us. Right now, I have us signed up for the November 13th Heart Walk in Hampton because we're kind of closer to that one. But that's all I have. And then here's the, oh snap, where'd it go? There it is. So here's where we're at, just so everybody can see. We have 6 teammates. We've raised $221.03 so far. But there's actually more. I have another 225 to deposit. So you can add that to the 221 that was given to me.
Excellent, excellent.
And as
So
you
it's
can
early
see-
enough that we can continue to build this out and turn it into something fantastic.
Correct.
You know, at the very least, you know, go back to the TGIF. There's a link in there every week for you guys to join the team with some instructions. And then, you know, the American Heart Association will send you, you know, the updates and the app download, and, you know, they'll help us all to stay a little bit organized in this process. And even if you can't participate in the walk, even if you have another obligation, or you just don't want to, or it's going to be too hot or too cold, you can still join the team, and you can still share this image in the social shares and try to collect some money and or food products that we can donate in the name of the American Heart Association and Long and Foster. So yeah, definitely do that. I would really appreciate it if we could have an amazing Heart Walk team this year. That would be a lot of fun. We could all go out there and get our steps in. So it's kind of a neat way to spend a couple of hours. So let's look forward to that. Any questions or any comments, anything?
There's the link to the team if anybody wants to click on it right now.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So open your chat. If you guys on the bottom, you should have a chat window. You can click on that. It'll open up on the right-hand side, and then you can copy and paste or just click that link to get that there. So.
And you can invite others to join our team as well. As I mentioned before, one of the team members is, 2 of them are with Sage. One of them is related to somebody at Sage. Oh, I'm sorry. There's 3 of us from the office. It's Randall's, me, and Jason. We're the 3 from the office.
Awesome.
And then the other 3 are with Sage. So anybody that wants to participate, like your cousin.
Yeah, we can have a million
Texas,
people.
Bring them.
We can have a lot of people. So
I
sign
like
up.
winning contests, and that's the plan. So let's go.
That's right. So, all right, gang, have a fantastic rest of the week. Happy hump day. If I can help you, let me know. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.